Hello everyone, back again with another upload, and this is another topic that I wanted to talk about yet again. Same thing as the same video, just kind of something I want to get off my chest a little bit, but creates good content, I guess. And that is, should Anakin Skywalker have been granted the rank of Master at his time at the Jedi Temple? Now, this is a very polarizing question. A lot of people will say no, some people will say yeah. Now, my personal answer, we'll get to that later on in this video, but before we get to this video, I would like to say thank you for all the interaction on the last video. That was my first time making a video of that kind of content, and I feel like it did pretty well for my first time ever. And I really like to say I appreciate that. It really means a lot. It really helps to, continue going and keep making videos and stuff like that. And to everybody, I like to have those conversations about Star Wars too. I love, even if I don't agree with what you said, I just like to have that conversation anyway. It's great to have that. I feel like every community needs that. Every franchise needs to have those healthy conversations where we can all come together and have a discussion about something, even if we don't necessarily agree on it, and not to get in each other's feelings about that. It's very sad when we can't have those conversations. But in that last video, we kind of did, and I am super proud and super glad to be part of that. And it was just great to have. But anyway, let's get into this video. Now, discussing if Anakin should have been made a Jedi Master during his time during the Clone Wars is a very touchy subject for a lot of people. As we all know, this is the poster boy of Star Wars. He is Star Wars. At the end of the day, he's the chosen one. He is Star Wars. We all understand that. And he's possibly the most favorited character in literally all of Star Wars. So it's a very touchy subject when you start to really put your hands onto it. And when you ask certain people, they will say yeah, some people will say no. Now, overwhelming majority of my friends said yes, he should have been made a Jedi Master, but there's just a lot I want to discuss about that. Now, when you ask yourself, what is a Jedi Master, or what makes a good Jedi Master, you might think power, wisdom, sometimes even age, things along those lines. And the good keywords that would make a good leader, essentially. Now, one thing we can argue is that Anakin had the power. He had the power to walk into the Jedi Temple and literally take out almost every single last Jedi Master that was in there. Only a few escaped, and almost none made it out after that. Even after Anakin was fully encased in the suit and was fully Darth Vader, not too many Jedi Masters could even touch him. Many Jedi Masters tried, many failed. He became the greatest Jedi Slayer of all time. And again, to reiterate Anakin's power, he was able to control the son and a daughter on Mortis, and those are literally beings made of the Force, and that just shows even more power that Anakin has. It's ridiculous in terms of power. Now this brings you to a question of leadership. Was Anakin a great leader? I would say yes, he was an amazing leader. As we all know, he led the 501st Clone Battalion, and when he became Vader, he was over the 501st Stormtrooper Battalion. And each one of these battalions were the best of the best. They were regarded as some of the best Stormtroopers and Clone Troopers that the galaxy has ever seen. And the 501st was always trusted with the toughest missions, and they always got it done. And more importantly, he led Ahsoka, who ends up becoming a great Jedi in herself. Well, not too much of a Jedi now. She doesn't really claim to be a Jedi, but that's besides the point. He led her through the entire Clone Wars, a young Padawan, and kept her safe, taught her everything she needed to know, and by the end of it, she was leading an entire strike force against Mandalore, with the 501st by her side, of course. Now, it leads you to think. Was Anakin Skywalker good enough to become a Jedi Master? And if I was a betting man, I would say yes, 200% yes. He's one of the most powerful Jedis at the Temple. He was a great leader. I mean, why wouldn't you make him a Jedi Master? I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, it all just makes sense to make him one. By all accounts, I mean, it would just make the most sense to make your most powerful Jedi, your best war general, and your just overall probably the best Jedi within that temple, to make him a master. And to most Star Wars fans and to most Anakin fans, they would say yes, 100% make him a Jedi Master. Even a couple of my friends, I've checked forums, I've checked everywhere, everybody mainly says yes, make that man a Jedi Master. But me, you asked me if Anakin Skywalker deserves to be a Jedi Master? My answer is...
What?
Heck no. Heck no, he did not deserve to be a Jedi Master. I know, just hear me out, please. And I say no for one reason. Anakin lacked patience. He lacked the patience to learn how to become a Jedi Master, learn how to have the wisdom, the foresight. He didn't have the wisdom to become a Jedi Master yet. As you look at Anakin, ObiWan, Qui-Gon Jinn, all of them had wisdom. And if he used his wisdom, he wouldn't even want to be part of the council anyway, as Qui-Gon Jinn, his original master, was not part of the council, and they wanted him on it. To me, the perfect Jedi Master is Qui-Gon Jinn. He knew the disillusion that was going on within the Jedi. And as I said earlier, he didn't even want to be part of the Jedi Council, although Yoda, Mace Windu, everybody thought that he'd be the perfect candidate to be a part of the Jedi Council. But his master was also Count Dooku, and we all know Dooku was just complete Chad in the first place. But other than that, Dooku understood the disillusion of the Jedi, and that's why he defected to the dark side. Qui-Gon was the perfect Jedi Master just because he believed in doing what was right first and foremost. He wasn't bound, and he didn't necessarily agree with the strict and egregious rules that the Jedi were placing out in front. Qui-Gon was truly one with the Force. He wasn't trying to adhere to the Jedi code, and that's why he was able to train with the Wills and be able to manifest himself as a Force ghost now. Well, he wasn't necessarily a Force ghost before, but Disney kind of rewrote it so that he is a Force ghost now. I mean, heck, Qui-Gon was so in tune with the Force that he even taught Yoda how to become a Force ghost and how to transfer his essence through the Force so that he can manifest himself as a Force ghost even after he's already dead and gone. At the end of the day, I mean, can you really blame Anakin? I'm around his same age when he defected to the dark side, which is 23, 24 years old, and I could see myself being very impatient with life, especially since his was so big. He wanted to stop his pregnant wife from dying, but the Jedi were so by the book, by the code, that they weren't really even trying to really help him. They weren't even trying to really talk to him as a friend. And what he needed at that moment was a true friend, a true mentor. And I understand too, he wanted to become a Jedi Master so he could gain access to the restricted section of the Jedi Temple so he could potentially learn the power to save his wife. And honestly, it could have been all avoided if the Jedi weren't so by the book that they could have just allowed him to maybe even just take a peek in there and to understand the truth that he wouldn't be able to save Padme. Which I believe ObiWan began to understand this whole concept, that he shouldn't have been so by the books when it came to Anakin. Which is why in the show ObiWan, one of the few good scenes from the show of ObiWan, he was apologizing to Anakin, well, Darth Vader at that time. He was apologizing to Vader, saying that he's sorry for all of it. And which I truly believe that he understands now more than ever. He should have been there for him as a brother and as a friend. But at that point, it was already far too late for Anakin. He had already delved deep into the dark side, and he was fully encased by Vader. He was no longer Anakin at this point in his time. He was full-blown Vader. I mean, does it suck that this happened to Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker? Of course it sucks. It's absolutely horrible. Yes, the Jedi and Obi-Wan should have been there for him, but at the end of the day, this still doesn't mean that he could become a Jedi Master. I mean, it still takes a lot of training. He just simply had a lot to learn when he was Anakin Skywalker. He had a lot to learn, and he would have eventually reached that point, but you just can't hand out the rank of Jedi Master to any and everyone. I mean, even though he was the chosen one, he still had a lot to learn. Even Master Yoda, as I said, had to be taught by Qui-Gon Jinn how to transfer his Force essence so he can manifest himself as a Force ghost. Which is why I think the show Ahsoka is very important to Star Wars, and a lot more people need to really check this out, because Anakin finally did it. He finally achieved perfect balance in the Force, being able to flip from Darth Vader to Anakin Skywalker in a flash, just a second. Anakin is finally perfected. He's officially, finally, the perfect being in the galaxy. Although he may be dead and gone now, he's still able to teach Ahsoka a lot of lessons. Now, I would say this version of Anakin, the one who's unfortunately already passed and gone and learned a lot from his life lessons and is finally in control of the light and the dark side perfectly and able to impart great learning and lessons upon Ahsoka, who was still alive at the time. This version of Anakin is a Jedi Master. He has the wisdom, he has the foresight, He has everything that is needed to be a perfect Jedi Master. And honestly, now he has everything to be a perfect Force being. But the Anakin that we know and love from Revenge of the Sith, Clone Wars, all that time, absolutely not. He would not be a Jedi Master in my eyes. Well, as always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section, and I thank you again for watching. I love to read everybody's comments upon this and really get a good discussion going again. It was fun making this video, and thank you. May the Force be with you, and see you later. Bye.